Life ain't luck, man. This is what life is. Life is hard work, life is faith, and life is grace. Faith without works is dead. You just keep the faith and work really hard and then ask God for as much grace as he can give you. Grace is God's unmerited favor. He gives you stuff you don't deserve. That's what you want out of life. You want God to do something for you that you just don't deserve it. He said justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. Grace is when you get what you don't deserve. And you hear old people say, all I want is a little more grace. I just want some grace. I want God to give me a house that I don't really deserve. I want him to give me a lifestyle I don't really deserve. See, that's a problem with people. They think they deserve something. No, you don't. I work really hard. Everybody work hard. You just need some grace, man. You need God to just give you something that ain't on the vision board. You just need God to give you something that you didn't even ask for. That's when life get real special for you. All I want is a little more grace. Like I got a vision board, right? But I ask God that his will be done in my life. Because what I can want, it can never compare to what God can give. You see what I'm saying? So you can want all you want, but if you line up with the will of God, what God has planned for you is way better than anything you could ever plan. You set your goals and your aspirations, but then you leave the open end to your thy will be done on earth as it is. It's the Lord's Prayer. Man, it's not, when your mama teach it to you as a little kid, it's like really the dopest prayer, man. Give us this day our daily bread. Don't ask for nothing else. Quit worrying about tomorrow. Just help me make decisions for today that let me live the best day. When you worry about tomorrow, you're off into something you have no say-so in. You have no control. So why would you worry? By worrying does not add a single hour to a day. Not 1 hour. So what you got to ask God for is your daily bread, just for today. You'd be amazed what would happen to you if you quit tripping about tomorrow. Just today. Today is plenty. Today is so adequate. That's why he gives us 24 hours and he breaks it up into day and night. You know why? Because he knows 24 is too much. So he lets you stay up during the daytime, let you go to bed at night so you can recover. You think I'm lying? Stay up 24 hours, see what happens. Just stay up 24 hours and see what happens. You ain't gonna believe it's too much. People they write books about success, and people kill me when they write about success, but they don't tell people about God. You're trying to be successful without God, you ain't gonna make it. You can try, but you're not gonna make it. You might make it a little way, but you can't stay there. It's not sustainable. You have to have faith, man. As long as God wakes you up, that means he ain't through with you yet. And if he wakes you up, you got a shot to correct it and get it right. And he kept waking me up. So I figured, okay, God wakes you up. That also means that he has something for you that you've yet to receive. So as long as he was waking me up, I figured what else? He can't take nothing else from me. I ain't got nowhere to stay, so I just kept asking. It drew me closer to it because I had nothing else. He had to take everything from me to get my undivided attention. So he did it. He took it, stripped me down. I needed to pay attention to him. I had to remember what my mama taught me as a Sunday school teacher. So he took everything from me. And I had nothing but him. So I just talked to him all the time. I got real strong in that car. I learned a lot of stuff in that car. I think humility was a thing that I learned. Come from nothing. What we want to know is how you got to where you are after coming from nothing. How did you live in a car for 3 years and wind up on more TV shows than anybody? How did you survive flunking out of school? How did you survive all of that? We want to know that, because in case something happens to us, we don't really have the information that you have, or how to come from the back to the front, or how to come from the bottom to the top. So I get asked oftentimes to speak. What I told them was really compelling, because they almost had to never hear it, because they never had to learn it. See, if you've never been in the bottom, there's some stuff you ain't never had to know. But all of you that have been in the bottom, you know it oh too well, don't you? And so when I was telling them how I made it, I was telling them about the fortitude that I developed. And then I told them about the faith that I had. And that was really startling to them. Now, a lot of them are people of faith, but a lot of people who were born with a lot of money ain't really had to have a lot of faith. You understand? You have an idea of what it feels like. You've seen some kids get put in foster care. You've seen child protective services come to somebody's house. You've seen kids come to school with less. You might have been one of the kids that went to school with less. You have struggled to give your kids a better life than the one you had. They don't hear this. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You can be successful without an education. You can be successful without coming from a rich family. You can be successful. I don't care what color you are, what faith you belong to. I don't care what's wrong with you. You can be successful. You have got to tie your existence to your Creator. If you don't tie who you are to God, I got news for you. You're going to forever struggle. Now, this is what I'm telling you is something you can do today. You ain't got to go to school to get this. You ain't got to have no meeting with nobody. I'm telling you that if you solidify a relationship with God, you ain't got to ask nobody's permission. You ain't got to check in. He ain't got no line. You can go and form this relationship today, this evening, when you get. You can shortcut this. I ain't got no education. I flunked out of school. I'm on my third marriage. I lost everything I ever owned twice. I had a severe stuttering problem growing up. I've been picked and teased my whole life. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. What you finna tell me that I don't know about him? I will tell you what God can do. He can do anything. God can pick you up when you're at your lowest moment. God can take your existence and turn it around. Now listen to me, I ain't no preacher. I'm a street cat. But I got news for you. That's all you got to be. Because you know why? Because there's none perfect, no, not one. There are no perfect people. God got you some kind of way. Now the jumping requires faith. Now what is faith? Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. If you can see everything, that ain't faith. You got to believe in something you can't see. Look, man, when I started in comedy, I did not see this. I didn't see becoming the first African American to host a beauty pageant of any kind. I was the first black headliner to start black radio nights around the country. I done had a machete in my hand on a lot of stuff. I didn't see any of them. But I had this little piece of faith that if I jumped, he would get me. Because I was miserable in my life. I didn't like waking up. I ain't have no purpose. I ain't know what I was supposed to be doing. But on October 8th, 1985, I walked in a comedy club for the first time. Signed up for the following week. The following week, a girl took me down there. She said, you got to go to a comedy club. You're the funniest person I've ever met. I never even heard of comedy clubs. I'm 27. I walked in a comedy club. I signed up for the following week. I'm going to sit here and learn. I knew I was funny. I just didn't know what to do with it. They had 10 acts go up. 9 of them went up. I didn't laugh at one joke. I was just sitting there man, I wish that was me. Man, they should have said this. Every joke they told, I knew the punchline before they said it, and I wrote a better punchline in my mind, what they should have said. It got to guy number 10, they called his name, he wasn't there. So they kept clapping, and I ran up. Long story short, I won amateur night that night. I won $50. It was a 45-minute drive to my house with this girl named Gladys. I cried 45 minutes. She said, what you crying for? It ain't but $50. I said, no, you don't even understand. I was born tonight. I now know what I'm supposed to do. I went to work the next day, October 9th, and quit my job. I had nothing. I just never gave up. I just kept believing that he was going to put that air up under them sails for me one day. And finally, he put that air up under that wind up under them sails. This ain't your life right here. This life you got right now, this ain't just it. You think this it? God ain't through with you. If God was through with you, he wouldn't wake you up no more. The moment God ain't got nothing else for you, you ain't gonna wake up no more. You lived your last day the day he got nothing. Once you done served your purpose and ran your route, you out. If you do not include God in your life, man, you're making a horrible mistake. You're doing yourself a horrible injustice. You're making this way harder than it's got to be. God really does want to help you. He really does. But he requires that we have a relationship with him. All he wants is a relationship with you.